We're here in Trapani, south of Trapani, actually, on the northwest side of Sicily. Now, that's where we're at, but even more special is the actual place we're at, right here, right now. This place is called the Salt Pans. It's been here for 2,000 years, which is really awesome. As you may or may not know, back in the day, salt was a hot commodity, literally, and it is a commodity. And people needed salt. You actually need it for your brain to live. And this is the old farming technique of salt, which are basically salt ponds. They call them pans, but they're ponds. And the salt comes in. They have 3 different chambers. The first one's just straight seawater. They get the fish come with it. So they open up the lever. The water comes in. They stop it. Then they basically, now they have a mechanical pump. But back in the day, they'd have the windmills around behind us would spin, churn the water, bring it from to the second pond, and then the third pond and fourth pond. Every time the salt gets more, first of all, they clean it, as well as you have it getting more and more concentrated. So by the time it gets to like the 5th or 6th or 7th pan, it's all salt. And the only thing left, which they can't remove, is a microalgae, which actually turns it pink, which, if you can see, this is why this pan is behind me, is pink. They can mine, essentially, they're not really mining, yes, they're panning, if you want to call it that way. They're panning salt, and they can, at these particular pans here, south of Trapani, they can get 9,000 tons per year. That's the max that they can get. But on average, 6, 7, 8, a normal year. And we're going to get closer. We're going to take a look and show you a little bit more of the salt pans here in Trapani. So this is an up-close shot you can see here of the salt already beginning to with the water evaporating, so the salt's forming. And the pink is the microalgae. That's the only thing left living in the pan. So there we go, just getting a good shot of the area here. So this is the entrance to the Museum of Salt, and they have all these cool windmills on the square salt farms. I don't know if you can see it. I'm going to try and zoom in and pan around here. You can't really see it, but it's out there in the distance right there. There's 2 of them. We got some good photos, I think. As I pan around, here's another one right here. All this stuff is really old. So that's just a tower right there, and then we just showed you that one right there. So this is just give me an idea. It's a really cool place because there's all these square, flat salt pans or farms, whatever you want to call it. And you know, I don't know that much.
Machine was good to grind almond or grain. Workers tried this for the salt, but that formed rust. Salt was brown, wasn't good.
This windmill has been is 600 years old. However, it's been the same family for 4 generations. We actually got a chance to talk with a 21-year-old lad. He's the youngest generation. And he's basically just a salt farmer. He is farming salt. €2 a kilo for sea salt. Not a bad deal, I think. Seeing as they produce, 10,000 pounds a year at most. It's quite a lot. So I can't, I'm not good at my kilo pound conversion, but they're doing pretty well. Now, like all Italian families, however, there's strife. They don't know how to hand down the legacy or generations. So the father's got the family, has got the museum. An uncle's got the shop. Another uncle has got the salt pans. And the kid works the salt pans to the 21-year-old lad. Very interesting dynamics in terms of families having issues, which family businesses always do. It really isn't easy to pass down a family business. I'm sure it's a lot harder when it comes to salt pan and trying to divide up the land instead of a nature reserve that our families have been owning for and working for a very long time. So, very interesting again to talk about, to see this windmill in action. This windmill is 600 years ago old, like I said in a previous video. However, it is Arabic design, because you can tell by the 6 windmills. 6 sails, 6 blades, 6 windmills. In high wind, take down the canvas. Low wind, put up the canvas. So they can actually cover the blades with the canvas or with cotton to make the windmill go faster or go lighter depending on how much wind was being blown at the time. From here south towards Marsala, which is the next town down, there's at least 50 more salt pans and many more windmills. However, the windmills are basically in a state of disrepair. They're very expensive, and the old guys who knew the old time techniques to work it, they're not around anymore. So, and repairing windmills is pretty expensive. So now everything's more mechanized, and we're using machines, and we're lifting out the salt. Back in the day, they used to have a jackhammer-like device to break up the salt, and then the workers would shovel it into a bucket, and that bucket would carry 30 kilos of salt. Every 24 buckets, and they're pegged on a pole of notches, that would determine how much they got paid that day. As technology progressed, conveyor belt. The conveyor belt would then, so they still shovel up the salt, put on a conveyor belt, then put in a bucket or something else. So technology has made it much more easier now for salt. That's one of the reasons why salt is probably so inexpensive these days.